Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today I'm talking about 20 games you can demo at Gencon 2024. Gencon is creeping up on us. We're 2 weeks out. I've already done a video of 20 games you can buy at Gencon. Now I'm doing a video of 20 games you can demo. I may do one more when we get closer, but honestly at this point, if you're not already going to Gencon, you're probably not going. But if you are going to Gencon, here are 20 games you can demo at Gencon. 20 games I'm selecting, handpicking, either because I've played them and I think they're good games you should check out, or I haven't played them but I have a higher degree of interest in them. I'm using the Board Game Geek list over here where they have 544 games currently that you can check out, from games you can buy, games you can demo, maybe other things, but I think primarily those things. You can use the filters to filter for whatever you want based on designer, publisher, what the games are, whether you can buy or demo them. You can use the sorting to sort by the name, the thumbs, any of those different things. You can see Rock Hard 1977, currently the most thumbed up item out of all the 544 games currently on this list over here. Designed by Jackie Fox, put up by DeVere Games. DeVere in general, fantastic publisher, but that's not why we're here today. Today we're here to talk about 20 games you can demo at Gen Con. And of course I'll have links to everything down below. You can check out my last video, games to buy, but with that, let's go ahead and start off with one which might make you a drop upset depending, because the first one is going to be Far Cry Escape from Rook Islands. Now, if you're upset here, I understand. If you're not upset, well, let's explain why. This is from FunForge. FunForge currently have outstanding crowdfunding campaigns where they have effectively taken people's money and have not delivered their games, and when they deliver the games is an uncertain, it's completely uncertain when or if those games were delivered. I still think they will be, but I might be hopefully optimistic in this category. What I will say is, if you, because you might sit there and say, don't support them, how can you support them, they're taking people's money. Speaking frankly, if you want them to have the best possible chance to deliver their games, people checking out their games and buying games, well, maybe demoing a game is not necessarily the same, but anything you buy from them is still going to help the overall success of things. Just make sure you understand that they do have an outstanding crowdfunding campaign and back or spend money accordingly. You should be walking into this knowing the situation, but that said, I don't think hiding them from existence does anyone any favors. But specifically, Far Cry is the lowest on my list because Monumental FunForge came out with they came out with Monumental, but they came out with Far Cry as a crowdfunding campaign that did not work, and I was of the opinion it didn't work because it didn't look like a Far Cry game. Versus now, they've taken that and they've done this over here. They have Far Cry Escape from Rook Islands, making it look like an actual Far Cry game. It looks like they've rethemed. I don't know what the gameplay changes are, but it does look like they have at least drastically rethemed the game to be much more jungle focused, which is the entire Far Cry line. So it looks like they did listen to people's feedback and they are still coming out with the game. I don't know how things will go, but I do think it'll go better than last time, although there's the complexity. I don't imagine they're doing crowdfunding because I know they said they're done with crowdfunding, so hopefully we'll see what happens. But I am very much interested in this one. If you want to go ahead and demo it, you can go ahead and check that out. We also have Apex Legends, another video game over here. We actually have a few video games coming up today. We have Apex Legends coming to you from Glass Cannon Unplugged. This is one that I have had a chance to play. They definitely did a good job as far as the terrain elements of the game and incorporating the various squads and the way the kind of the closing in map, trying to simulate that battle royale feel. Apex Legends was an overall good experience as far as coming from Glass Cannon Unplugged, who've done Frostpunk, and this one you can go ahead and demo at Gen Con because you can't yet buy it. In fact, I don't think you can buy anything on this list. The whole point of this list is these are games you can specifically demo. We have Nature over here. Nature from North Star Game Studios. This is a re-implementation of their Evolution line. There's Evolution, there's Oceans, and now there's Nature. Nature is the most recent one. I will have coverage on this game, but it's basically Evolution but modular, so you can put a bunch of modules into play that'll drastically change up your gameplay experience. If you want to check out Evolution's third iteration, that's actually so many. Evolution has a long history. Nature is just the most recent iteration of this game design approach. I do think it's likely their best one. Likely, it's hard to say, but I do think they really did the modular approach to the game and the way you can incorporate different things into the game to change up the feel of the game, from drastic events that are shutting down the dinosaurs to introducing carnivores or big creatures or more of a threat going on to introducing more hidden and flight and all those things. The modular approach really takes the game and makes it shine. We also have Dying Light the board game, another game coming from Glass Cannon Unplugged, another video game adaptation. They've now done Frostpunk and Apex Legends and Dying Light, 3 video game adaptations. This is one that felt very different. The parkour nature of the way the game plays out, I thought they did an excellent job with it, and well, check it out. Check it out if you want to get a feel for the game, see it play out. It has a great tail presence. Let me see if I can show you a picture here. It has a great overall tail presence as you wander from like zone to zone, trying to accomplish your objectives, doubling back and dealing with all the zombies, or trying to avoid all the zombies as you go through it. That's going to be Dying Light the board game. This is Galactic Cruise coming to you from Kinsen Key Games. This is a heavy Euro game, very Lacerda-like in the feel or the approach to the game, or even just the box box for that matter, and the design, and the publisher, and the illustrator, the artist, coming to Ian O'Toole. But this is a heavy Euro game of launching Galactic Cruises. You're going to be trying to gather passengers. It's a worker placement puzzle of placing a worker and then taking actions from connected zones with the ability to chain them depending on the placement, paying people, lots of things going on to it. This was a delightfully good time, very heavy in terms of what it's doing. It did flow nicely once you got a good feel for the game, but it was a lot to pick up. But overall, it's been very well received, this Galactic Cruise. We also have Monumental Duel Trade, a game rated a 1. It's rated a 1 right now because, again, people are upset at FunForge, and I get it. This is designed by Matthew Dunstan, designer of Monumental, who, by the way, is a delightful human being who is, whenever you have designers kind of caught up in companies and their shenanigans, I always feel bad for the designers because they're kind of stuck in a bad situation. But Matthew Dunstan has done a lot of game designs under his own brand, under a variety of other companies, and overall seems like a very solid guy. I think Monumental is a great game. I'm very intrigued as to what they're doing with Monumental Duel Trade. It does look like it's demo only. I'm not sure of this. So far it seems like it's demo only. They actually have 3 of these. They have 3 different Monumental games, that Monumental Duel titles that you can all mix and match and combine. But I am intrigued as to what it takes from the core game and also what it changes. I like Monumental, and I'm intrigued. I think the art looks amazing. I recognize that the publisher has a situation. And again, that just means spend your money wisely and with knowledge, but past that, yeah, Monumental Duel Trade. We have Luthier, another giant Euro game over here, another big box design, coming to you from Pavison Games, illustrated by Vincent to Trade. Luthier is coming to you from, well, they did Distilled previously, and this one is a game of making instruments. You are making instruments. It's actually on crowdfunding or just ended when this when you're at Gen Con. I think the crowdfunding probably still, either way. They just had a crowdfunding campaign, just launched the crowdfunding, and whenever you're at Gen Con, you have a chance to check this one out. But this is going to be a worker placement game, a blind bidding worker placement game, where you're trying to place down workers with different strength levels, which define both what you can do and the order that you can do those things in, as you try to gather patrons, as you try to build instruments, repair instruments, and do performances in this game. A very intricate Euro game that, again, flows smoothly once you have a hang of it. We have Kelp, Shark vs. Octopus over here, coming to you from Wonderbow Games. This is a 2-player asymmetric game where one player plays as the shark and one player plays as the octopus. That's right, the octopus. You're going to have the shark trying to hunt the octopus as the octopus hides behind these various, well, I guess wooden pieces, or they wooden, I think they're wooden, that are going to, you basically have one player kind of playing a, what's that word? Stratego-like game of having their pieces obfuscated and then occasionally mixing and matching and using abilities and dealing with deck building while the shark tries to power up and slowly take down the octopus. Lots of fun things going on in this game. Very highly asymmetric 2-player experience that is very well done. I actually played this for the first time right after Gen Con of last year. We have Planet Unknown Superman coming to Supermoon coming to you from Adam's Apple Games. This is the expansion to Planet Unknown. I know nothing about this game. In fact, I think from this list, no, the Far Cry Monumental I haven't played either. I was gonna say it's the first one I haven't played, but I have played a bunch of these actually. But Planet Unknown Supermoon, the expansion to Planet Unknown, I'm intrigued as to what this adds. I think Planet Unknown's great. I just played a game of it yesterday. It's a game I continuously pull out and play, and I'm very excited and intrigued to see what they did with the expansion. You'll have a chance to demo it at Gen Con. We also have Kemet Rise of the Gods, one that I did have a chance to get my hands on. This is one I have coverage already. They have an ongoing Game Found campaign, which I believe will still be ongoing when Gen Con's running and all that, but this basically brings new elements to Rise of the Gods, new elements to Kemet. Specifically, you're going to have 2 full new power tiles being added to the game, which means your total is 2 or 3. 1 second, it might be 3. I have to remember this. We have the 4 from the base game, well, the 3 original base game, then the 4th, then the Necromancer, so 2. It adds 2 more sections of power tiles. It also adds the Rise of the Gods module, which has you playing as literal gods on the board, and then a few other small things, but those are the main things going on in the game. There's a solo mode, there's a teams mode, things like that. But overall, if you like Kemet, if you like the sheer amount of power tiles that Kemet has in the game, if you like that experience, this adds a ton more to it, making it a highly variable experience as you try to optimize the best combination of power tiles that are going to drive you forward in this area control puzzle. That's going to be Kemet Rise of the Gods. We also have How to Save a World coming to you from Burnt Island Games. This is going to be another worker placement game, but with an interesting mechanism where workers are shuttling back and forth between, one planet and another, taking different actions, all while you try to play a little bit of a, not really area control, more a little area control, a little bit of like a stock mechanism as you try to figure out how you're going to save a world. Literally, that's the premise of the game. Are you going to save it with a giant shield? Are you going to use lasers to blast the meteors out of the sky? Or are you going to evacuate all the inhabitants? And learning and figuring out what the players are doing as you figure out where to invest your time, effort, and energy, combined with the worker placement and the tableau puzzle, provides a very rewarding overall experience. We have Seti, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, another space game following space game. This is coming to you from CGE. I think this one's launching at Essen for Action actual, like, not launching, but official release is Essen. That's when you can buy it. Until then, you were able to demo it at Origins. You're able to demo it again at Gen Con. This is one that I haven't actually sat down and played it yet. I got the general overview of the game. It does look very cool. I'm definitely interested in checking this one out. CGE puts out great games. Generally put out very solid games. Lost in Zermatic to this day, one of my favorite games. Codenames to this day, one of my favorite games. I still have to play Kutnahora. Unfortunately, I've not gotten that tabled yet. But we have Seti, or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, if you want to check this one out. We have Innovation Ultimate. This is the newest version of Innovation from Asmadi Games. Innovation is a delightful game. The Ultimate version is I guess it's the Ultimate version. It's the newest version of the game with the newest expansion. So it adds a 5th expansion. It also adds an Age 11. So many of the cards in the base game expansion have been updated around that. And this was a recent back campaign, and I'm excited for it because I love innovation, and I'm excited to see, well, more innovation. We have Knitting Circle coming to you from Flat Out Games, designed by Emily Vincent, who has her own game, by the way, Pirates of the High Teas, if I recall correctly. But this is going to be Knitting Circle, a standalone follow-up game, playing as players are knitters, competing to create the coziest, most beautiful assortment of garments. So you're knitting in the Calico universe of here. No idea what the gameplay is like, but I do like Flat Out Games. I do like the games they put out, even including their offshoot games, like the whole Cascadia Roll and Write series of games. I thought was excellent. And I'm intrigued to see how this one plays and what this one does. But it looks beautiful. Has a cat on the cover, which means it's going to be nothing about cats. And yeah, it's still not a Calico cat, or is that? That's not a Calico cat, is it? No, I don't think it is. We also have Dead Cells, the roguelite board game. This is going to be from Scorpion Mask over here, and this is, well, Dead Cells, the video game brought to your table. It's one that I've heard good things about, but haven't had a chance to play myself. I believe Mike, One Stop Co-op Shop, I believe he played it, had positive things, if I recall correctly. I do love Slay the Spire, the board game and the video game, so I am intrigued to see how this one is and what it does. But overall, if you want a chance to check this one out, you can check out Dead Cells, the roguelite board game at Gen Con 2024. We have Dante Inferno coming to you from CGS Creative Game Studios. This is going to be a boss battler, where you have like a journey phase and then the boss battler phase as you go through the little 7 layers of hell and whatnot, taking on the various bosses along the way, the whole Divine Comedy by Dante and all that. But this basically had a very rewarding sequence of play as far as the actual boss encounters you had. Felt you were able to feel very powerful as you tried to take on the boss and figure out how he's reacting to you, what he's going to be doing, while still feeling punishing enough that it was a challenging experience. I enjoyed this one a lot, had a lot of fun with the game, and definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already. We have Ironwood over here from Mind Clash Games. This is one of my favorite games I've played in 2024. It gives you a highly asymmetric 2-player experience. Very different than Kelp, by the way. We have 2 very asymmetric experiences over here on this list. We have Kelp, and then we have Mind Clash. We have Ironwood. Ironwood has you focusing on felt very root-like in the gameplay. You have the iron something and the wood something. I can't remember the ironclad and the wood walkers. The ironclad and the wood walkers are going head to head. The ironclad are trying to expand their forges, and the wood walkers are trying to pull their omens or spirits or whatever, their visions from the forest. And each player is trying to get to 3 first, but they operate in a similar fashion, but with high degrees of asymmetry. Lots of card play as you try to figure out where and when to place your cards. Actually, kind of had a Kemet. Speaking of like different overlaps over here, had a kind of Kemet style resolution as far as attack, defense, and then battle strength resolution. So different elements going on there. But I thought it was a very, very well done game with also 2 different solo modes. For the 2 different factions, you had 2 different solo modes to check them out in different ways. We have Citizens of the Spark from Thunderworks Games. I don't know a ton about this game, but I do know it's got tons of card play, and I like games with lots of card play. Not card games, but games that have like a little bit of an engine you're working with, and then tons of powers and abilities, and figuring out how to combine powers and abilities in the most rewarding way. This one so far, I got a chance to see this one at Gamma Trade Show in 2024, and this one overall, the combination of characters, the vibrant art, I love the style of the way it's like in the white background and slightly pulled out. I think it looks beautiful, but this one looked very intriguing. I have not had a chance to play it yet, so I can't actually comment if it's good or not, but I know that everything about this game seems like the kind of game experience I would like to play, seems the kind of experience I would enjoy, and so if I have a chance to demo it at Gen Con, I'll be doing so. But this is Citizens of the Spark from Thunderworks Games. We also have Defenders of the Realm Legends Edition. This is one I actually got a chance to try. I want to say it was PAX Unplugged 2023, but I had a chance to try this from Greater Than Games. They're re-bringing back Defenders of the Realm, and I love Defenders. I didn't love Defenders of the Realm. I love Defenders of the Realm Legends Edition. I thought this was a very well done game that made you feel very powerful as you went through the game experience. You had lots of characters, lots of abilities, and you had beautiful art, miniatures, production, all of that stuff. But overall, the game I played, I didn't play a full game. I got to play a demo session for like an hour or whatnot, but I thought it was very well done and definitely made me very excited to dive into this one more, just based on my experience with this until now. And I'm not someone who loved the original Defenders of the Realm. I played the original Defenders of the Realm, and I thought to myself, well, I'll just play Pandemic. I think that's a better game. Versus this felt very rewarding. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend checking it out if you have a chance. Are we up to number 1? Number 1 over here. Number 1 on the list is going to be Avalon, the Riven Veil. Coming to you from Shatterborn Games, the people obviously behind Oathsworn, one of the bigger hits we've seen in the past few years. Avalon the Riven Veil is going to be an area control game set in the world of Avalon and King Arthur and all that. And so if you want to check this one out, I don't know a ton about the game just yet, but I do know that I'm very excited about it because it's coming from Shatterborn Games. It looks beautiful already, and they've done good work with their game so far. They've really leaned into making their, like, they haven't, like, been putting out, like, 5 games a year. They have, like, single games they're leaning into, and so I believe in the team, I believe in the game, I'm excited to play it. I have no idea if it'll be good or not, I have no idea if it'll be for me or not, but at the very least, I am excited for it. And that's what we have for your Gen Con preview of Gen Con preview overview, 20 games you can demo at Gen Con. These are just the ones that I went through that were the most standout to me. Again, as we approach Gen Con, I'll probably have one more video in the last, few days before Gen Con, just another teaser to get you excited about what you can buy, check out, try, all of that. But here's 20 games you can Gen Con at 20 games you can Gen Con at Demo 2024. 20 games you can demo at Gen Con 2024. If you think I missed anything that is particularly exciting that you think I should have included, let me know in the comments down below so others can see and try those games out, check them out, see if they're for them and all of that. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.